instant meeting. A new instant meeting can be started by clicking on the new meeting button on the home tab. One can start a new instant meeting by using their own personal meeting ID that you can see by clicking on the download arrow. Use my personal meeting ID, which is again a numeric number. Or you can start a new instant meeting without using your personal meeting ID. In that case, a random meeting ID is assigned to that instant meeting along with a password. Let me first start a new instant meeting without using my personal meeting ID. So click on the new meeting button, a new screen will appear, and as you can see, a new meeting has been started and a meeting room has been created. So now we will see a number of meeting controls that appears either on the bottom of the screen, as you can see, or at the top of the screen, depending on which device you are working with. Meeting controls are important to manage and control a meeting for the host. So we'll go through the meeting controls one by one. The first meeting control on the left hand side at the bottom is mute or unmute yourself. Mute myself, then my voice will not be relayed. And if you again click and unmute yourself, then you can speak. Clicking on the upward arrow, a number of options to select an audio device. The next meeting control is to start or stop your video. If I stop the video, then your name appears on the screen. And later on, the names of the participants will also appear as and when they will join the meeting room. The next meeting control is security. So the various options are lock the meeting is locked and no more participants will be able to join the meeting. Enable waiting room, this makes the participant wait to be allowed to enter the meeting room by the host of the meeting. So you can allow the participants one by one to come and join the meeting. Similarly, allow the participants to share their screen, share the chat, or rename themselves. Then the next meeting control is manage participants. So when I click on manage participants, a panel will open up which will show you the names of all the participants in the meeting room. The first name would be of the host, as you can see here, and the rest would be the name of the participants. Right now, no participants here in the meeting. That is why no names are visible. And then there is on the bottom, there is an option to mute all the participants, unmute all the participants. And if you click on the three dots on the right hand side at the bottom, again the same options as we saw in the security meeting control. Some of them are same over here, like mute participants on entry, allow participants to unmute themselves, allow participants to rename themselves, play enter or exit chime, enable waiting room, and lock the meeting. Now, after you've started an instant meeting, you can send the invite of the meeting to the intended audience. So there are two options over here, contacts or email. So the contacts, as you would have added to your Zoom app, you can select the contacts and send the meeting invite, or through email. So through this is the most commonly used way of sending the meeting invite. So say click on Gmail. So the compose window will open up. Your meeting invite, as you can see over here, will appear over here. So this is the meeting. This is the meeting URL. The participants can join by clicking the meeting URL, or they can join by entering the meeting ID and the password. From the security point of view, Zoom has now made it mandatory to assign a password with each meeting that is started instantly. So the participants needs to enter a password. If you click on the meeting URL, then you need not enter a password. But if you're entering a meeting ID, then you need to enter a password. So the meeting invite is copied, and then you can add the names of the intended recipient and they will receive the meeting invite. Zoom app. This is the meeting room which has been created. If I again click on invite, so we have just seen how to send a meeting invite using email or otherwise As you can see on the bottom of this screen, there are two buttons to copy URL and copy invitation. So either copy the URL or copy the invitation to the clipboard and then copy it to your email or to your WhatsApp and send across the invite to the intended audience. So the similar meeting invite will be created as you just saw when I sent it through an email. So this is about starting an instant meeting, creating a meeting room, the meeting controls at the bottom, and then we can see the participants here on the left hand side panel and how to invite the participants to join the meeting. And to end the meeting, click on the end meeting button to end the meeting for all or to simply leave the meeting. Then after manage participants, there is a meeting control for chat. If I click on chat, then a chat window, the Zoom group chat window will appear. Here you can send the message either to everyone or privately to a particular participant. Similarly, if I click on these three dots on the right hand side, you can control that whether the participants can chat with no one or the host only or everyone publicly or everyone publicly and privately. And then I can merge the chat window with the meeting room window. So even it will also appear on the right hand side below the manage participants window. Then the next control is to share your screen. If I click on share your screen, a number of options again appear over here. You can share the whiteboard or you can share any other window, any other screen that you have opened on your desktop. We will come to this again when we'll discuss about the scheduled meetings. So like I can share a whiteboard. A whiteboard will appear over here and you can start writing a text or drawing on this whiteboard. Like as you can do something, anything free drawing you can do, or you can select text and you can start typing in the text that will appear on the whiteboard. So I can close the whiteboard. Then you can click on the record button to record the meeting and you can send in your reactions also to the other participants in the meeting room and finally end the meeting, either leave the meeting or end meeting for all. So this will end the meeting for all the participants. Next we'll see how to schedule a future meeting. How to schedule a meeting in the Zoom. Zoom offers multiple methods to schedule a meeting. A host has control over the options for the scheduled meetings. A meeting can be scheduled from the Zoom desktop client or the mobile app, or it can be scheduled from the Zoom web portal as well. We will see how to schedule a meeting from the Zoom desktop client. On the Home tab, click on the Schedule icon. This opens the Scheduler window. Now you can select your meeting settings. So as you can see, a number of options are visible over here. We will go to the Zoom Support Center to see the purpose of each and every option that is displayed over here, and then we will come back and schedule a new meeting. So open your internet browser, click on zoom.us and then click on the support tab on the topmost bar. Here click on meetings and webinars. And here on the right hand side, click on scheduling meetings. This page gives all the information about how to schedule a meeting in Zoom. So as we can see, click on the schedule icon. This will open the scheduler window. Select your meeting settings. And now note that some of these options might not be available if they were disabled and locked to the off position at the account or the group level by the administrator. So we'll see all the options one by one. The first one is topic. Enter a topic or name for your meeting. Then start. Select a date and time for your meeting, and the meeting can be started at any time before the scheduled time. The duration of the meeting. The meeting does not end after this length of time. The meeting can be continued after the specified length of time as well. Then time zone, recurring meeting. Now choose this. If you would like a recurring meeting, then the meeting ID will remain the same for each session. But then the recurrence of this meeting has to be set in the corresponding calendar, or the invite can be copied and pasted to the clipboard. Then regarding the video, you can choose for the host if you would like the host video on or off, and for the participants also, whether you would like the participants video on and off when joining the meeting. Similarly, for audio, choose whether to allow users to call in via telephone on only, computer audio only, both, or third party audio. Then there are some advanced options as well. So click on the arrow to view additional meeting options, like if it requires a meeting password. This is important from the security point of view. You can set a password for the participants which they will have to enter when they will be joining the meeting. Then whether to allow the participants to join before the host. Then mute participants on entry. Use your personal meeting ID. Now click this if you want to use your personal meeting ID. If not selected, then a random unique meeting ID will be generated. Usually the personal meeting ID is used for the meetings where your intended audience is generally fixed. If you are scheduling an instant meeting, then it is advisable to generate a meeting ID automatically. Then the other option which is important is like calendar. Select a calendar service to add the meeting to and send out invitees to participant. Then click schedule to finish. Now, something to note is if you are scheduling a recurring meeting, you will need to set the recurrence in your calendar service, and choosing other calendars will allow you to copy and paste the scheduling meeting information such as date, time, and meeting URL. Now we will go back to the Zoom desktop client to schedule a new meeting. So I will enter the topic, select a date and a time and a duration. You have the option of setting this as a recurring meeting. Then let me select that meeting ID will be generated automatically. Then it requires a meeting password which also can be changed. So like I will write here ABC as well in front of it. Then host video, if you do not want to start your video, select off. Similarly for participants also, let's say select off. For audio, select telephone and computer audio both. Calendars, I'll select other calendars. Click on the downward arrow for advanced option to see other options while scheduling a meeting. So you can enable waiting room if you want to permit the participants in the meeting room one by one. If you do not want the participants to join before host, uncheck this checkbox. You can check mute participants on entry and then automatically record the meeting on the local computer, and then click on the schedule icon. So now the meeting is scheduled and the meeting invite is displayed in a pop-up window. So you can copy this to clipboard to copy the invite, maybe in the Gmail or in the WhatsApp to send out to the intended audience. So I will close the window. Now how to see the scheduled meetings, or if we want to say edit or delete, then click on the meeting tabs on the topmost bar. This is the tab for meetings, and here under the upcomings on your left hand side, you can see the first meeting that I just scheduled, Sapna Varshini's Zoom meeting for FDP. Here on the right hand side, now there is an option for copy the invitation, edit or delete the meeting. You can click on show meeting invitation and the meeting invite will appear, which can again be copied to send out to the intended audience. You can click on the edit button to make any changes in the meeting settings, or you can click on the delete to delete the meeting from your upcoming meetings. Here on by clicking on this plus, a meeting can be scheduled. So as you can see, schedule meeting, schedule from Outlook, schedule from Google Calendar. So if I again click on schedule meeting, again the same schedule meeting window opens up. And similarly, again a meeting can be scheduled and created, and it will be added under the upcoming tab on the meetings tab. Whenever you intend to start this meeting, click on the start button to start the meeting. So now next we will see how to start a meeting, so that we can see how do we enter a meeting room, and then again we can go through the various meeting controls as we saw while scheduling an instant meeting.